All right. Hey, everybody. Steve Burns here. Welcome to Digital Creativity with Steve Burns, aka Chromolution. It's an honor to have you here. Well, we've got a little exciting presentation. I figured we'll do something a little bit different today. I figure we'll do something a little bit different than spaceships and weapons. And I just got a 3D printer. And actually, let me share with you guys the exact printer I purchased here. I'm gonna come over here and go take a look at this. It's kind of cool. We are the Creality CR10. Actually, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the images. I should have some images, not much images in here. That's really interesting. Let's go ahead and just click on this one here. It gives a larger view. All right, so this is it. All right, so I just purchased a 3D printer. Mandala, hey, how you doing? Welcome, man, and thus the man who I purchased the printer with. So Jason Mandala and I decided to go halves on a 3D printer. So the footprint is a 12 by 12, 12 by 12 by 14 inches high, which is pretty big. It's pretty big. And I'm still doing a lot of learning and experimenting with this thing. And the first thing I've learned is that the time it takes to 3D print something takes forever. It takes a long time. So you're going to have a minimum of a good 2 hours to get a draft version done. So anywhere from a low quality to a draft version will be up to 2 hours, and larger sizes with a high quality can take you a day or two or three, depending on what you're printing. So their 3D printers are not fast, which is, well, I assume eventually they're going to get faster. You can actually speed up the speed, you can speed up the printing speed on this particular printer. But then again, you could sacrifice, there could be consequences. So as 3D printers become more accurate and a lot more precise, I mean, this one's pretty precise. It's a high resolution printer. My friend Brian Haberlin highly recommended it, so I went ahead and purchased it. It's getting rave reviews all over the web and the internet. So I went ahead and it's not that expensive. We purchased the CR10S. The CR10 is $350. The CR10S is $450. It comes with a filament sensor. So if you run out of, for some reason you're out of the office and you run out of filament, it'll stop printing. It'll pause where it is. Okay, so what is Jason saying here? You need to change your stream. Oh, okay. Sorry about that, Jason. All right, let me go do that real quick. So evidently on my stream, I have to change it to my Stegosuarus, creating the Stegosuarus in Lightwave 3D. I always forget about that. Drives me nuts. So I'm going to actually do that now. I think that's in my dashboard. And we'll go ahead and change. There it is. All right. So let me select all. Okay, so now I'm going to do creating the Stegosaurus in Lightwave 3D. Okay, cool. All right, let's go ahead and save this. All right, that should work. That should work. Gosh, it drives me nuts when I forget that. So let's go to my page. Should be update. And go to the channel. Okay. All right, so it should be changed. There it is. Okay, done. It's done. Bang. It should be changed. All right. Okay. So that's what I did. So I want to share with you guys. Like here, this is $399. You can get it for less than this. You can get it for about $350. That's the CR10. Like I mentioned, the CR10S is a little bit more expensive, but we thought it was well worth it to go ahead and get the filament sensor. All right. So I mean, most of the time I'm going to be here watching it anyway, but it's fascinating to watch. It's really now I don't have it on printing right now because it does make a little noise and it's going to probably annoy everybody out there. So I'm going to just leave it off. So I'm going to share with you some things I printed. One of the first thing that I printed, Essence, welcome. So Electric Skateboard is here. Welcome. Essence is here. Welcome. I said hello to Jason Mandala and Ryan. Let's see. Ryan Emmons Stevenson. Welcome to Digital Creativity with Stephen Burns. We're going to be doing a little bit of 3D today in Lightwave. We're going to kind of go with creating a Stegosuarus. One of the first things I created using the filament that was given to us is this little guy here. Let me hold that up in front of the camera. So what you're looking at is one of my first 3D models. Let's see if you can, there we go. Right, that should be good enough. One of my first 3D models of a Stegosaurus, and you can see the actual scaffolding because of the tail is sticking straight out. The 3D printer needs a base to actually sit against. So when you build it from the floor, it's actually going to build up the scaffolding so that it has some type of a base to actually create the tail itself. The 3D printer is not going to actually create things in midair. It's just not going to happen. But the scaffolding itself is very thin. I can basically pinch this off. So it's very thin, very flexible. This comes right off. I can even use this an X-Acto knife to kind of get a better, to just kind of nice get a cleaner edge. You can see that. Actually, let's go to the top view here. Let me see if I can get a nice view of the top view there. Turning this around. So it's detailed. I mean, I love it. So I actually built this in Lightwave. Okay. And I first started using the objects that came with the printer, but and I was getting very successful results. So I figured, okay, I'm going to definitely try something that I created in the 3D program. Now, when I saw that it did so well with it, it really inspired me to make sure that I put out much better models. Really nice detailed skin. Bring my stuff into ZBrush, detail it out and detail the geometry out, and then bring it back out to my 3D printer and start printing it. So I'm going to share with you something else I tried. This is not my model. This is something that I found on a site that gives you 3D models to print that basically the community supports. It's called Thingiverse. Thingiverse. Actually, I'll share that with you guys. It's called Thingiverse. All right, I'm going to go ahead and www. And there is another. Yeah, right there. See, Thingiverse.com. All right, so I'm going there now. So Thingiverse. Oh, that's interesting. There we go. Let's go directly to the site. That's it. So the community uploads models, and they're all free, and they're basically STL files. So a .stl is your standard format for printing through 3D printers. And there's some examples here. We got the little Easter egg concept. Imagine it would take forever to print these Easter eggs here. So you better get a real hit, like a week-long head start before the Easter holiday. All right, so Thingiverse is pretty cool. In fact, here I'll just copy and paste this link so you guys will have it for any of those out there who are interested in 3D printing. The 3D printers have come down in price, which is absolutely amazing. So for $350, you can actually get this printer. If you want the S to get the filament detector, it's another $100. So one artist can actually afford the whole printer. Jason and I decided to kind of go halves and halves on it, just to see how well it does. All the artists are raving at the high resolution capabilities. Just to give you an idea, here is a bust of Godzilla. Okay, the new Godzilla. I'm going to put it up close here. And I'm gonna turn it around for you a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. You can see the detail in there. I'm gonna kind of bring the head around to here, and we can see now this was the smaller version. You can see, just in comparison to my finger, just how small it is. But I was so impressed by the detail on the smaller version that I decided to do a big one. and it went really well, except my printing software crashed right right when it was finishing the nose. So you can see a little bit of the hole in the nose. Other than that, it looks like it did a really good job, right? So this big one took almost 8 hours, and this is using the high resolution option. Let me kind of bring it around the front so you can see it there. All right, it's very, very cool, guys. I mean, when you can actually, create something in your 3D program, and it doesn't matter what 3D program you're using at all. You can use Blender, you can use SketchUp, you can use Poser, DAZ 3D. It doesn't matter. All you're doing is going to export it out to an STL file, and then you're good to go for your printer. So it's really fascinating. So I've got some requests online after sharing the videos on my website, not website, but the Facebook page. And definitely join me on my Facebook page. It's the facebook.criminallution.com. I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and post that on there too. I don't know if it was in Nightbox, so I'll just go ahead and copy and paste it. So there's my Facebook page. So definitely join me there. And check it out. Check out. I've been posting videos of the printing process. It's pretty cool process. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and just bring this down. So this is what we're gonna do. I figured I was so inspired by the 3D printing. I figured I want to actually create a better Stegosaurus. And I decided to go and get some references, and I'm going to the bridge. Let's actually blow this up a little bit bigger, these images, so it'd be easier to see what we're. There we go. So I like some of these initial ones here. Let's go ahead and bring it up higher. So this looks like a resin model that I found online. So I just scoured the internet to get some references. And I like this reference quite a bit, and I believe I'm going to utilize this. And I also have a skeletal version of it, so it gives me a better idea how the legs and everything works together here. And we'll take a look at those in just a second or so, a minute or so. It looks like us. It looks like if we were down on all fours, this is kind of what we would look like. Our shoulder up here, and then your hands on the floor. This is exactly how your joints would bend. And so, and the same thing with the legs here. So it has a shoulder, and then we have the arm coming right down from the shoulder, and then the forearm right down over here, and then your feet right down on the bottom here. And a lot of this detail on the flesh here, I'm probably going to utilize ZBrush to assist me with that. Okay, I think I kind of show. Now this is another view, like another resin cast model, and I'm just going to utilize these all as just kind of references as I'm creating this thing. Okay, so this is a nice little a reference for texture, for the skin texture. A lot of this we're going to end up sculpting in by hand, utilizing ZBrush a little bit later on. And if we take a look at the face, it looks primarily part lizard but part bird, mostly. Yeah, it's kind of a combination of the two. So you actually have a beak here. There's a beak there. So this artist interpreted as a beak, and I've been seeing a lot more of this online, of this particular version of dinosaur, the Stegosaurus. Okay, here's another example. We can see that even here there's a bird-like beak concept on this particular dinosaurs, and you can see here the legs come out a little bit more, almost more like the iguana. Here's one from the, I think this is from DeviantArt actually. JR, I saw this one here. I thought it was very, very cleverly done, well done. Figured this might be a good little reference from a front and a side view of the animal. Okay, it might be something we might consider using. Maybe what I'll do is this is actually one of the very few front views that I've seen. I scoured the internet. There's very few, just direct front views. Now here, I saw this little skeletal view I thought was interesting. Little shoulder blades here, the arm and then the forearm coming down according, and then the feet, of course. So it gives me an idea how the dinosaur might move. Of course, all this is going to be covered up with flesh. And there's some other examples. Here's a nice little side view of a resin cast. Okay. And this was, I guess it's part of the Jurassic Park, but this beautiful resin cast on this one. Love the design of the belly. All right, it's a little bit rounded. I don't know if it's a pregnant concept or just a big fat dinosaur. So let's take a look at another example. Here's more of skeletal structures. So you can see the shoulder blades, the arm, the forearm. Arm connected to the shoulder blades. So it's really fascinating creatures, aren't they? That's always been fascinating. You know, all kids are just, we love dinosaurs as a kid. You just love them. It's another little beak concept. We'll probably design something similar. I love the spikes on the tail. And of course, the bone plates up here are going to take a lot of time to develop. They're not going to be hard to develop. It's going to take a lot of time to develop, especially once we get inside a ZBrush. We have to kind of, I'm going to want to detail this out. So I might use some brushes, some standard alpha brushes to kind of get the initial detail, then bring in maybe the Dam standard or the Damien standard brush to kind of etch in detail onto the plates here. A little close-up view to kind of give me a better idea as to how I might want to go with this piece. All right, so let's go the next one. This is kind of a cool one here. Another resin cast, and I love the interpretation of some of the artwork done on the plates. There's some that are designed to look flowery, which is kind of my my preference. I'm kind of leaning toward that concept. More of a flowery look. Let me see if I can actually find that. Where was that? I think we had one. Actually, these up here. Well, not those. And I love these here. That my original one. So I'm kind of leaning toward this. I love this concept. But you can see how all artists have a different concept of how those plates might look, which really makes it interesting. All right, so we got a skeletal view. It's a real close-up view. All right, let's go across, go to here. We already saw that one. Another interpretation of the plates here. Yeah, cool stuff. So, and then I might go. Maybe I'll go with a dinosaur that's gonna be more colorful, like this. So I'm looking at, how so you can see the shoulder blade here coming down. And then your arm and then the forearm right about here, and of course your foot or the hand. There's an interpretation of the dinosaur actually standing on his hind legs, as he might be standing up to eat off a tall tree of something. Love the rendition of this. There we go. And this may be, I don't know if this is a resin cast on the beach, or a plastic model sitting on the beach. Yeah, very cool. Okay, some others. I should go to this view. So looking at this, I think this is a T-Rex head, but I kind of like the way it looked. Maybe I'll interpret that, use that as an interpretation for the head of our Stegosaurus. All right, and here's nice little black and white skeletal structures. All right, so I'm just kind of looking through all this stuff just to see, just to see where I could go with this. Oh, here's another interpretation. That's kind of cool. All right, and yeah, I mean, I actually, this has to be probably one of my favorite dinosaurs. Yeah, it's a Stegosaurus. Okay, now here's an interpretation from another artist. I believe he's utilizing Maya. You can see the bone structure. Now look at the shoulder blades here. They come straight out in terms of the bone structure. That attaches to the shoulder, the forearm, The arm and the forearm and the feet coming down. Look at the neck. I think he has it interpreted in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he has a lot of bones for the heads here. For the head. There's the beak. That's for the jaw right down in here. He probably have the geometry mapped out to each of the bones. So the neck for the neck. I'm assuming some of these bones are going to articulate the expressions of the dinosaur. Yeah, cool stuff. That's for later. That's for later. That's for later on. After we get the dinosaur built, we can. Now here's another interpretation. Let's go ahead and take a look. Now look at these here. All right. I think we saw that one already. I think we had an inverse view. This is some newer stuff. Kind of gives me an idea of the height, the size of this thing. Okay. The head. That was kind of funny. Let's kind of pull this back. So now I found some of these views. Now I like this concept. Now this is a concept where a person decided to show how this will be interpreted in terms of a mesh, like a 3D mesh. All right, let's take a look at now. This might help. We saw some versions of this already, and yeah, that's a lot more helpful. Okay, so we're going to utilize these references, as we start to create our dinosaur. Okay, Shark 8. Hey, welcome. Hello. Great to have you. Let's see who else has just joined us here. Let me kind of jump in here and look at this. And Ruscular 3D, welcome to Digital Creativity with Stephen Burns, aka Chromolution. And Shark 8, yes, I said hello to him. And Essence, I can't remember if I said hello to you yet, but Essence, welcome to Digital Creativity with Stephen Burns. All right, so everybody's chiming in. Okay, great. So don't forget, this coming Sunday is going to be the Lightwave Users Group. And I'm also contemplating a Photoshop Users Group on Saturday. All right, so for those of you who want to start getting your Photoshop skills, we have some great artists on board. We normally meet in person for the Photoshop Users Group, but we had a little bit. Art Institute, it seems to be closing all over the country, which is where we meet. And it looks like this one that we're in is going to be doing the same. So after being there for over 15 years, we may be losing our space there. So I've already got a couple of spaces picked out, but it may not be in time for this next meeting. So I may just put this next meeting online. So keep that in mind. I'll keep you notified. Just make sure that you join our mailing list for the Lightwave Users Group, and Nightbot is actually posting those things on here in front of you. Like become a Lightwave User Group. It just posted it. Go on there and join us. Become a member today. It's free, obviously, and then you'll be notified of what's happening. Ruscular, you just joined. Thank you, man. That's great. So you'll be notified of everything that's going on. Also, just so that you are aware, I am doing the digital artistry workshops for the San Diego Comic Fest. For those of you who are near Southern California, the guys who started the San Diego Comic Con also started a new convention called San Diego Comic Fest. It's about 2,000 so far. And I do the 3-day long digital artistry workshops where I have artists of various walks and backgrounds to come in and do 1-hour presentations for the entire 3 days. And I'll talk more about that as well. Okay, so shall we get started? Now today I figured I'm going to start from beginning to end. What I would do from the very get-go as a digital artist is how I'm going to interpret this. So I'm going to utilize this dinosaur, that particular image. And what I need to do is, the good thing about this is that it's on medium gray background. So that alleviates a lot of my problems. Oftentimes things are on a color background, and you'll usually spend time to cut the dinosaur out. Let's go ahead and open that up in Photoshop. Okay, and there she is. Now, when I'm talking about cutting things out, I like to put everything on its own layer. In this particular case, I won't need to. And if I were to, so that you are aware of this, I would probably use this quick selection tool. I'll probably go to the gray background and select it like so. I don't have to use I don't have to use shift or anything, because it just automatically does it like so. If I hold the Alt key down or the Option key down, that pulls it back from the areas that I did not want to be selected. Okay, and this tool is learning, so it's going to remember what it is that you're trying to select. Okay. All right, so I don't need to do that in this case because it's a neutral background, neutral matte. So what I do want to do is duplicate the layer. So Command or Control J. So right before I hit Command or Control J, I hit Command or Control D to deselect my selection, just so that you're aware of that. So, okay, so Rusco 3D says you won't be able to join. You won't be able to join, but I am paying for the membership fee to catch up. Excellent. So that's I think you became a subscriber. I think so that means. And if that is the case, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So that all the videos, everything's being recorded. So after we're done today, the recording will be there. Thank you so much. That's great. So, all right, let's see. So Rusker 3D says, I think it was very low fee to be. It is. It's a super low fee to be a member. I totally agree. And that's kind of what Twitch is trying to do. It's trying to make it so stupidly, cheap, so to speak, that it's just dumb not even to want to subscribe. I mean, with all the knowledge that you're getting from all their presenters here. And I agree, it's very inexpensive. Okay. So now the benefit of joining the Lightwave users group is so that you're notified. It's free. It's all free. So when I say, hey, I'm going to be doing a stream today, you're notified, ahead of time. Or, and then you're going to be notified anyway. Since you subscribed and became a member of the channel, then you will be notified anyway. Okay. But anyways. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to alter the dinosaur to a medium gray. I don't want the color to kind of interfere with my geometry visually in Lightwave or any 3D program for that fact. So I'm going to alter it to medium gray, which is going to neutralize it so I can quickly see where things go, how they're designed, and so forth. I'm going to be drinking a lot of water because I realize when you start talking, you get thirsty really fast. Hitting the F key on the keyboard, that's going to maximize or go to full screen mode. And let's go ahead and alter the dinosaur to black and white. I'm going to go to my image menu, adjustments, and simply just grab the black and white option. Okay, right there. There. Okay. So to alter it. So what's nice about this is whatever color I click and drag on, I can darken it or brighten it by dragging it left to right. So I want to go over here to the brighter values and bring them down, right? I don't want, the goal here is not to get contrast, not to get a lot of brighter values. I want to bring everything down to a medium gray as low as I can. These middle ones are kind of dark. So I'm going to bring those up just a little bit. Okay. Tell you what, let's go ahead and just bring them all down fairly dark. And then click OK. I'm going to come over here to Control M for curves and just bring it all up equally. Something like this. All right. Okay, now what's bugging me is that I think this background is going to be a little bit too bright. So I tell you what, I'm going to come over here to the magic wand tool, select that background. I think that'll do the best. And it's selecting areas that I don't want to be selected. So now I'll switch over to the quick selection tool. Holding the Alt or Option, that'll get rid of all this here. I'll go get the feet, go get rid of this over here. Release Alt or Option, and it'll quickly grab the areas that I do want right over here. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and alter option, grab this here. That's good enough. I think that's good enough. And I want to bring that background down a little bit. So I'll tell you what. I said I didn't want to put it on this own layer of work, but it looks like I'm going to have to anyway. So I'm going to do it. Have everything around the dinosaur selected. So if I hit Command Shift I, which inverses selection only, and then Command J for placing the dinosaur on its own layer like so. All right, so I'm going to go Save As in the image folder and call it Stegosaurus. That's 0 Stegosaurus is good. 0 Stegosaurus main. All right, and then fine. I'm gonna come right down below that layer and then give it a solid color. There we go. So I can change that color to anything that I want. So I want to bring it down a little lower. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Now I'm gonna do one last thing. Let's go ahead and right click on the side of the Stegosaurus and let's make this a smart object, okay? That will allow this to be non-destructive, where I can go back and make adjustments anytime that I want. So Ruskler says, in fitness, we are taught to use low vibrancy voice, avoid speaking your voice, and you will last longer. Okay, so avoid speaking your voice. Now, I'm not quite sure what you mean there. So in fitness, we are taught to use a low vibrancy voice. So basically you're saying to conserve energy, right? So to control our tones, to conserve energy. And avoid speaking your voice. So I'm assuming what you mean by speaking very loudly, I assume. And then I can last longer. If I'm wrong, correct me on that. I'm gonna go to the filter menu, go to just to the camera raw filter. And the reason I'm doing this is because some of these brighter areas, I think I can just bring down with the highlights value, like so. You'll see why in just a little bit. I'm gonna go to the blacks, which is the deep shadow areas, and bring those up a little bit so we can see a little more detail. See that there? So it gives me a little bit better control over my tones. Utilizing this, and then click OK. There we go. So when I bring it into light wave, I should be able to see this a little bit better. Okay. How about I'm gonna save this one, Control S. Now save it out as a JPEG. So Control Shift S, select JPEG as an option. Right. All right. So Ruskler 3D says, high pitch will kill you. Got it. You're right. It will kill me. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I want to live. And avoid laughing. Oh, man. What's the point? Laughing's fun. Okay, so avoid laughing. So when you teach 3 high energy class, you will know why. That's true. That's true. So if you're at the gym, like these guys who are on this the cycling exercise classes, you ever see those guys? Oh my gosh, they're like crazy. I mean, they're just super, just pounding out the sweat. And you're right, the instructors aren't laughing. They're just speaking in a certain even tone voice, and so he can control his energy. Well. All right, I think you're right. I think you're so right about that, Ruskler 3D. All right. Because sometimes you want to laugh because you want to show, a human behind this voice. Okay, so what are we doing? We're saving this out as a JPEG. I'll tell you what, I'm going to call this one light wave image. I'll just go capital L, capital W, and I'll put a 0 in front so it's easier to find. It just pops it up to the front view. Okay, 0LW image in the images folder. There we go. Okay, so I think that's all we need. Let me go into Lightwave and make sure that it'll import it successfully. Okay, and then I'm going to close out Bridge in Photoshop. So I'm going to Lightwave Modeler. I'm going to bring that into the right view. Okay, and hit the D key on my keyboard for display. Go to my backdrop, and I want the bottom right. So I'm going to click BOTR, capital R, and I'm going to go grab an image here, load the image, and I believe we put that 0 Lightwave image right there. Let's go see. There we go. So you take a look at the image. It's a low tonality. It's all medium, a fairly medium to low tonal range, so that when I actually put geometry over, it's going to be easier to view. All right, that looks pretty good. Now, what I'll do is, let's go ahead and close this out for now. Let's leave that open for a second. Hit the Shift X. That's going to be my box. And I'm going to draw a box that matches this right here. So that's going to allow me to resize it very quickly to this box. Just like so. All right, that box, let's go to my layers view here. So F7, remember F7 is the same shortcut key that you have for layers in Photoshop. And I'm going to just come down here. I'm going to put it down here in a bottom layer. It's way in the back because I don't really need it. So go to this top layer where the box is, Command or Control X for copy. That's a standard Windows shortcut. And then go to the back layer and just put it there. So then whenever I come back to get this image, I can resize it to this box very quickly. And to show you what I'm talking about, let's go to the box and hit the Shift H key for resize, and it's going to resize it in proportion like so. Okay, going to make it bigger. So if I come over here back to display properties, I can hit this automatic size, but also maintain the fixed aspect ratio. When I hit it, watch what happens over here in the right view. Boom, it just resizes automatically. So it resizes it to the geometry that is existing. And this is the geometry that I'm matching this image with. So I'm going to take it, Command X, cut it out, and go to my layers option, F7, and just put it down on the bottom right over here. It's very back layer, and I'm going to go up to layer 1. And we're going to work there. All right, let's go ahead and turn everything off. So there's my Stegosaurus. Now, the reason I brought the gray down, so and if you haven't figured out yet, if I hit my Shift X, which is the box view, I can easily see my geometry. Now here, you can see how the gray dinosaur is still a little bit too bright, so it's hard to see my box. So I may need to bring that down some more, and that's easy to do. Okay, so let's actually go and accomplish that right now. All right, hey, how you doing? So this is the Lit Bobcat, the Lit Bobcat TG 2003. Welcome. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the Digital Creativity with Stephen Burns, aka Chromallusion. See if I missed anybody else in here. Oh, I did miss somebody here. We got Ben Johan 4. Welcome to Digital Creativity with Stephen Burns. And well, I already said the Lit Bobcat. He's already here. Neon Z Effects. Welcome. Great to see you. Great to have you here. Who do we have? We have. I think I've got everybody else already. Okay, good. All right, let's go ahead and let's go back to working. Doing good. And you? Yeah, I'm doing great. Doing great, Lit Bobcat. So, enjoying this Easter Sunday. I did all my Easter, festivities, responsibilities earlier today, so I figured I'll do a little bit of a stream today. All right, so we also needed a front view. Let me go back over here, and it won't be the same resin cast, but we have to find one. that I think will suffice. I think it was this one right here, okay? Let's go ahead and open it up, okay? And this is the only thing that I could find on the internet that's a front view. So I'm going to go ahead and go to hit the M key for the rectangular marquee tool in Photoshop. I'm going to select the dinosaur that I want. Okay. Let's go to the bottom. Bring it up like so. There. Okay. And I'm going to hit Command or Control J to place it on its own layer. Okay. I'm going to Command click on a layer to reselect the object on the layer, as you can see here. Command C, Command N for a new page, hit the Enter key. So the proportions that you see here is going to match the proportions that I actually selected. Now if I hit Command V for paste, there's my object. So let's go ahead and just close up the other one. I don't really need it. Nope, I'm not going to save it. I'm going to keep this one here. And let's make sure I have a good enough resolution, which I really don't. Not that it's going to matter too much, but let's image size. See, it's pretty small resolution. So the best I can do is probably give it 200 so it doesn't look too bad. Okay, so it's going to look bad, but that's just the way it's going to have to be, because I don't have a high resolution front version of this. So and this is just going to kind of give me a reference. I don't really need to see detail here. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and let me go over here to Camera Raw, because Camera Raw has this nice little clarity filter which can sharpen things up like so. And I can go over here to the sharpness value, give it a little bit of sharpness. All right, so if I zoom in a little closer, you can see what I'm doing. It's low resolution, but I'll just use it just as a reference for the front view. Let's see. Let's take a look real quick in Lightwave, kind of give an idea. Yeah. So we can see, I'm going to modify this real quick. Let me go, that other one should still be there, right there. Now, if we take a look at the two, the base is right at the bottom of the feet. Let's see if I can at least match this up. So hit my C key for the crop tool and just bring it up right about there. That's about, the best we're going to be able to do. Hit enter. And then I also want to bring down its tonality a little bit. So all I'm going to do is take the dinosaur and just bring down its opacity, so it blends in more with that gray background. There we go. See, it blends in more with the gray background. And if I go to the gray background and bring down its tonality a little bit, that will help quite a bit bring down all those values. Now, all I want to do is start bringing in some of the darker values to give it some more contrast. So to do so, I'm going to just merge everything together in one layer. So Control or Command, Option Alt or Shift E will merge everything together. Then I can go back to my not Windows, but Filter, go back to Camera Raw, and I'm going to go over here to Clarity, because Clarity is going to make those darker values seem much more darker there, like so. It's going to go darker. Effects, Dehaze will definitely make your darker values darker. There we go. All right, let's go back to Clarity and Exposure. Bring it down slightly, just slightly. That's good. All right. I can go into Lightwave and actually mess with some of this stuff, but I don't want to do it. I want it to be done correctly from the start. It's done. So Command Shift S, which is going to be Save As, and let's go find it, make it a JPEG option. Let's go find the original one that we created, was a Zero Lightwave Image JPEG. Select it, save over it, yes, replace it, and then when I go back into Lightwave, there it is. It automatically updates there. Now you can see the blue lines, how they stand out really well against the dinosaur. So if I go to Command X, or not Command, but Shift X, see, now it's a little bit more of a contrast between my polygon shapes or my geometry shapes in the image in the background. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so let's go and do the last one in Photoshop the same way. All right, I'm going to go up to here. Let's go ahead and duplicate this layer. So Command J, image menu, adjustments, black and white, bang. See if I can pull this down. Yeah. Okay, take some of that, just kind of even out the tonality in here. And if I go to Control or Command M for curves, maybe I can bring the highlights down. That'll help. Then I'll go to Filter, Camera Raw, go to Clarity. There we go. Bring up a little more, not that much, just a little bit. Okay, that should work. All right, so Command Shift S for Save As. All right, so we're gonna Stegosuarus front. That should work. We're saving it as a JPEG. So light wave image front. I'm going to rename it. So I saved it same name as this last JPEG, but put front on the end. Let's go save it. There we go. That works. Okay. So Mandala says, I wonder if there was any evolutionary advantage for the Stego to have those spinal plates coming out. Seems like more of a liability. Now, this is what's interesting with some of the research I did on this particular dinosaur. One of the theories was that the plates. I think this may be an earlier theory that the plates was a way of basically taking the sun rays to energize its body. So in other words, to heat up the body. So it's attached to the spine. The sun rays hit it, and the heat goes into its body to keep it warm constantly. But it may have also dueled as a way of the dinosaur being in very leafy areas where the color of the plates may have adapted to the surrounding leaf areas. So if a T-Rex was there, if I guess T-Rex is basically is theorized as not being very great with sight, that it pretty much tracks movement according to the current movies that we're seeing now. This is like Jurassic Park. That if these could blend in with the surrounding areas, and that these spines can actually flip down and up, that they can control that. Of course, we don't know that for sure, but that was one of the theories. And that there was another theory that there was two brains on this dinosaur. One up here in his head, which is very small, and another one to actually control the tail. I've heard a bunch of theories of that sort. So, and then the dinosaur itself, supposedly, well, by theory, is that it was actually very flexible. That, you ever seen like a pit bull and it can bend in half? That's probably what this dinosaur could do. So that if it's attacked, it can literally bend in half, and this can almost create like a 360-degree weapon, whip around his body. Again, we don't have one in today, so it's theory, but it's kind of the theories are kind of fascinating. So, and Mandala says, because we're assuming they're cold-blooded. Well, I think the current theory now is that they're warm-blooded. I think we used to think they were cold-blooded, but we suspect, we're thinking more now that these were actually warm-blooded animals. And it could be that it could have been a combination of the two. So the plates could be a way of keeping the body warm, without a whole lot of effort from the internal mechanism to put out to keep it warm. So it's interesting. I don't know, but it's fascinating theorizing this stuff. So all right, let me go ahead and go to the other one. Go back to light wave. Remember that box that we created? Let's go hit the F7 key for our layers. And we hit that box right down there. So I'm going to approximate how wide I want this box. Hit the H key for the stretch tool. Put my cursor right in the middle and bring it like so. Because remember, this didn't really come from the same model. So I'm gonna just guesstimate that's about how wide it's going to be. And I think what I'm going to do also is hit the F2 key to center this. Let's go ahead and drag this back up. T key for translate. Hold the control key. I'm looking right down here in this view. Here, I'll tell you what, why don't I just go over here and hit the 0 key so I can go to full view. A key to fill this up to view. So control key constrains it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to constrain it to go up like so. And then I'm going to pull it back. All right, there we go. So if I go hit the 0 key again while the cursor is hovering, it'll bring back everything. A key fits all in view. And the reason I did this is because when I go to symmetry, whatever I select on one side, the other side is selected as well. So I want to create the dinosaur in a symmetrical mode. All right, so this is just a reference box so I can resize the image to the box. Okay, so let's go over here into the back view, hit the D key, and let's go get our backdrop. So go to my backdrop tab, which I already have. We got a layout and GL. You'll get to learn more about this stuff as we start to work together and modeling things in Lightwave. All right, so Rescuer 3D says chickens evolved from a dino. And then he also says there is a website of dinos with feathers. Hey, do me a favor. Post that website. Let me know when you're ready because I have to give you a pass to post a link. So grab that link. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll give you a posting pass because Nightbox is in charge. If you try to post something, it'll ban you. All right. Okay. So okay, it's my display options. I'm going to go over here to the backdrop. And I want the bottom left this time. So I'm going to go grab BOTL, capital L. And we're going to go grab an image. So what's nice is I can go to my image option, which is the F6 key to bring in my images ahead of time. Or I can just bring it in straight from here. Either way, it's your choice. So if I go to images here, load an image. And we're going to go back over. And there it is, 0 Lightwave front view there. And click open, and it's really small in here. Yeah, this is what I'm worried about. I think it's small. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to match this view, right? So we're going to go to automatic sizing, making sure fixed aspect ratio is on. And let's click, see what it does. There we go. That's not so bad. Okay, Control and Option held down together. I'm going to drag this through. There we go. That's not so bad. So the 2 separate images from 2 separate models, so that's not too bad at all. Okay, so we'll go ahead and utilize this for our front view. I don't have anything for the top view, I don't think. Let me go ahead and look in Bridge. Well, I've got this guy here, but let's see, something with skin and flesh on it from the top view. I want to take a quick look. It's hard to find. I even put in there in the search box like blueprint of Stegosuarus, right? Couldn't find anything. Okay. So somebody got banned. See, I told you to wait until I gave you a pass. So who was it that tried to? I'm going to assume that was Ruscular 3D. All right. So I've got to give you. I'm going to give you a pass right now. So it's called a permission pass. So I got to give you a permit pass to post stuff. Okay. So I'm going to go permit space and let me go to Ruscular 3D. I'm going to copy your handle. So you. There we go. All right, so when I'm going to click enter. Okay, so Rescuer 3D has been granted permission to post a link. So if that was you, Rescuer 3D, and then if it's not you, then whoever tried to post, you just have to wait until you're unrestricted. Get out of your timeout box. I think it's only like a minute or two, or a few minutes. Mandala should just set it so that subbers can post links automatically. But can you do that with Nightbot? If you can, let me know. Is there an option in Nightbot to turn that off? I'm just getting used to Nightbot, guys. So I'm just starting to use it and play with it. So I'm not a Nightbot professional. So you have to bear with me here. So Rescuer 3D is calling on Mandala. Okay. So if you want me to give you a pass, let me know before you do it so I can give you the pass, the permit, and then you can go ahead and post any link that you want. And I'll keep an eye on my on the postings here too. I'm getting pretty good about that at least. Okay, cool. All right, now let's see. I'm going to scroll up and see if I have anything from the top view. I may not. So I don't remember. The only thing I have is the skeletal stuff. So, all right. That's all right. I think we can handle it without the top view. So far, let's take a look at what we have. We have the front view, the side view. I think that will do just fine. Now, on this dinosaur, if you feel like it's a little bit too much contrast, you can go into F6, which is your image editor. So here's my front view there. It shows all the images that we've imported in. So as I select each one, you can see it cycle through here. So if I go to my front view and I feel like it's too much contrast, I want to flatten out those tones a little bit, then I can go to the editing option here, go to the contrast and bring it down. See? I can bring down the contrast. I can also bring down the brightness like so to match the other one. See how the one to the right is a lot less contrast? Okay, so flatten it out a little bit more. Now usually I find I have to bring the contrast all the way down. Bring the brightness down just slightly. Yeah, that's good enough right there. That way it's a nice little, very flat and low resonating value so that it does not interfere with your eye in terms of being able to create your model. All right, so let's save this one, hit the S key. And I'm saving this into the Lightwave folder. Okay, and inside the folder are all my various projects. And I'm going to hit the S key and I'm going to go find my Stegosuarus right there. Okay, I'm going to save the Stegosuarus into the objects folder. This is where all my 3D objects go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this one Twitch. Oops. Let's save object as right down here. Twitch Stegosuarus. All right, I'm going to call this one 001, okay? Because we're going to save it in iterations. All right, so then in that case, shall we kind of get started? Let's go to our first layer. Hit the F7 key, go to layer 1. Now, be aware that I can actually go through layers by hitting the numerics on my keyboard, like 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see 5. You see it's going down to each layer as I hit the numeric keys on my keyboard. Okay, so I want to be in layer 1. I'm just going to hit that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. All right, so here's my idea. I need to, just as you're doing a drawing or a painting, you don't start with sophisticated detail ever. You start with very abstract, loose concepts of what you're going to paint. or draw. Okay, I don't. When I'm creating 3D, or if I'm creating or being creative in 3D in any point, I work abstractly, so I can build from that abstract concept. Okay, depending on what I'm doing, if it's for a client where the client wants you to be more of a technician, then which is what you're going to, which is what your position is going to be in the commercial world, like television and effects and stuff like that. You have to understand some physics along with some of the the actual shape, size, and physical attributes of the very thing that you're modeling. Okay, so then you're being more of a technician. But the concept of working abstractly works if you want to work more of as a fine artist or a technician. Okay, so our brain seems to work in such a way that to make something simple makes it easier for you to put in detail later on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a box. I'm going to start off with this concept of the box. And I think what I like to do is I want to start off with the head. So I'm going to zoom in close to the head here. Now keep in mind this is not going to be accurate because this is a different dinosaur, so the head level is going to be a little bit different than mine, and then one on this side here. I suppose I could change that a little bit, but I don't think it's that really. I could, but not going to worry about it. All right, so Shift X, and I'm going to put a box right over his head. Now the concept here is I want to work with a shape in a set of geometry where I can create pretty much any shape I want from. That geometry is going to be a box that has been subdivided. So with subdivided in half or quartered. So if I hit the X, the arrow keys going up, it gives me a horizontal quarter here. Let's look at this from the full view. And if I hit the arrow key to the right, it gives me the vertical. So from this shape, I can pretty much create anything. Now, let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Let's go back to the full view. Let's go ahead and pull this out like so. And I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard to commit my changes. Let's go over here to my top view. Hit the A key to bring it all into the full view. So there's my box. From this shape, I can create practically anything I want. And this gives me a lot of control. And I like this shape because maybe later on I want to just model half the object, so I can delete one half and keep going on the other side. Okay, as a workflow. So if I select this here, I can use options. All right, like under my multiply tab, I can come over here and then use something like a multi-shift and then start building things from this. So I think this is going to give me my best result. So let me go ahead and let's get rid of that one there. Let's go ahead and go to the all up view. There's the head. Let's bring this back toward the head. Now I have to make a decision. Let's go ahead and deselect everything. Hit the T key. All right, so this head is going to come down, obviously. I'm going to pull this down like so. And I'm probably going to start to play around with, let's see, should I bring the head up or keep the head down? If I bring it up here, oops, what's happening now? I have symmetry turned on. So let me just turn symmetry off for now. Let's get that dead centered. All right, so here's the issue I'm having. Is that the head is in dead center because I haven't resized the image to be such. So if I go back into Photoshop, go back to this side view, I want these sides to be equal. So if I go to the C key, let's see if I can get this to be a lot more accurate. Like so. There. Now I'm going to do something else as well, because I'm changing my mind on something. Let's bring this head down a little bit. And that's going to be pretty easy to do. So if I go over here to the Photoshop, go to my lasso tool, and just lasso this portion of his head. Right, go keep it tight in here. Okay. And then I'm going to take it and hit Command J to put it on its own layer. Hit the V key for the move tool, and I can just nudge it on down like so. In fact, I've got a better idea. Let's get rid of that layer. Hit delete key. Let's go grab this again with the lasso tool, and I'm going to lasso up more. So it gives me more of this to bring down. And I think it'll give me a much better result. Okay. And Command or Control J. Hit the V key for the move tool. So there we go. See? So it starts to look like it's still part of the flaps coming down. All right. So I'm thinking this. Let's go ahead and put these two side by side. Image arranged vertically. Let's take this and bring it on over. Okay? Drag it on over here. I'm going to keep that shape. Let's maximize this to full view. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do is bring down the other dinosaur, just to kind of get the proportions right. But first, C key for the crop tool. Pull this on over to give me some room. Hit the V key, grab my dinosaur. I'm holding the shift key, there we go. Like so. I'm going to put a guide on the nose. All right. So I need to make the other dinosaur the same size as the one to the left. So Command T, hold down my shift key to keep the proportions the same. And let me just bring a guide right to the top of the flap here. So it gives me an idea where to stop, probably right about there. And hit enter. Oops, don't want to do that one. Let's get in a little bit closer. Okay. I think that's going to work. Just kind of scanning it over with my eye again. Now, the thing that's out of proportions at this point is probably, if I bring down the guide to the upper body of the other dinosaur, it's pretty close to what I have here. It's not that far off, so that's not going to be big of a deal. We look at where the joints are in the knees, it's pretty close. So now, go Windows, Arrange, Tile Vertically once again. Go get the head, bring it on over. Oh, what happened there? Let's go see what's going on here. Let's go to there. There's the head. Bring it on over. All right. And I'm going to say, bring the guide to where the nose is. Right about there. Okay. Hit the F key, full frame. So this is an approximation. It's not going to be accurate. But it gives me something to work with. Something like this here. I'm going to turn the head on and off. Okay. Give this a mask. Hit the B key for my brush. I'm going to get like a nice little soft edge brush up here. I should have something right above me here. I think that should work. Okay, go to 100%. I think my pressure is turned on, as I can see in that brush. And hit the X key to go to black and just erase away all this in the bottom so that it blends in with the actual dinosaur. So hit the X key to go to white, bring some of this back from above. There, okay. So that kind of makes it a little bit more accurate. And I think that's going to make our life a lot easier. So the last thing I'm going to do with this dinosaur, that's this one here and the head. I'm going to select them both. And I think I'm going to go ahead and right click and make it a smart object. So if I ever want to go back, I can edit that again by double clicking on that layer. I can go back and move the head around if I ever need to. So it's a nice little workflow to get into. So if your client says, no, I don't like that head where it is, a little bit too low, a little bit to the right or whatever, you can go in and change it without having to redo the whole procedure all over again. So let's, I want to save this, Command S, I've just done so. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab my dinosaur. Go to my V key so I can select the guides by putting the cursor on the guides. I can drag them off. If you hold down on the guides or double click on it, it brings you options for the guides. So you can change them anytime you want. So maybe I have cyan for my guides. Maybe I want to come up here and make them like a nice deep red. So nice bright deep red or pure red, and you get something like this. That's kind of nice. I want to go ahead and just bring them off. So whenever I get a guide, I've got red. Or yellow, whichever your choice. So now go to my select tool, and I'm just going to select that shape. Right? I don't need to resize it anymore or crop it or anything. I just hit Command Shift C. Command Shift C means copy all visible. Everything that we see gets copied. Command N for new file. V, there it is. Okay. Now remember we brought down the contrast before, so why don't we do that now with Control M and bring down the contrast like this and just bring it up a little bit like so. Okay, that looks good. Command Shift S for save as. Go to my JPEG and let's save it over the Lightwave image front. Hit yes, save over it. All right, let's go back into Lightwave. There it is. Okay, and we take a look at this. Yeah, that's accurate. All right, so if I go over here to the Move tool or the Translate tool and bring it down, see, it's right at the snout. Okay, so I know a lot of artists don't show that workflow so much when creating reference images. So I figured it might be a good idea to have that recorded if you ever want to go back and kind of and work on your own. Let's see any more comments here. Nope, no comments. Okay, good. Everybody's just enjoying us. So let's see who's just joined us just to be curious. Oh, Enerwin, welcome. Hi, great to see you. This is great. So Bennigan 4, welcome to Digital Creativity with Stephen Burns. Let's see who else. Honey Ray, hey, how you doing? Honey Ray is here. Let's see what else do we have. I think those are the new ones in so far. Okay, welcome. All right, so there it is. Now let's go ahead and kind of work this through. I think we're done with Photoshop, right? I always find Photoshop and Lightwave have a tendency to conflict with each other. So I'm going to save this as our Stegosuarus front TIFF. I'm just going to save the TIFF version of that. And close it out. And I'm going to close this one out. I believe we saved it already. Done. And this one we don't need anymore either. Just checking everything out here. All right, close out Photoshop. And I'm going to leave Bridge open. Okay. All right, let's go play. Let's come over to here. Let's see what we can do here. So if I move this up a little bit, like that, yeah, that's pretty. Assuming that this little area is kind of the neck coming up a little bit. So that's the head. Okay, I'm going to start reducing this down. I'm going to keep the symmetry turned on. Actually, I want to make sure this head is centered. So F2, dead center, keep it centered. You can see the snout's not perfectly centered, but we're going to just have to work with it. Okay, pull that back on over to the face. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually start extruding this out. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these polys there. And let's go ahead and bring it down. So Shift H for resizing. That's going to be the snout. T key. Okay. All right, go to my H key because it's not going to be a perfect square. It's going to be something like this. Okay. All right, and of course I can go to my T key here and angle it like so. And I'm going to do the same thing for the back side. Grab this here. Hit the, there we go. Something like this, okay? Now, if we look at the head, it's slightly rounded a little bit. I'm going to do a lot of modifications. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to grab the edges right about there, okay? So grab this edges, go hit the H key and look at the front view. And I have all views here open just so that, I can see what's going on. See there? We're kind of bringing it out like so. I think the sides are probably not as beveled as the tops. So I'm going to hit the space bar to drop the tool. Let's go over here to the edge tool. Let's unselect those here. Okay. It's going to just draw over them. Okay, I can just actually click it right down to here too. So I just want that side open, and I'm going to give it a little bit more of a stretch. Stretch it out like that. Okay. So it kind of looks like the front head of a dragon or something like that. Okay, so you can see what's going on. The nose, however, it's a little bit too flat up here. So I'm going to grab these polys here, hit the H key, put it at the bottom, and it'll stretch upwards like so. Let's see what's happening there. Oh, that's interesting. Now that I didn't expect. I didn't expect that at all. Let's bring it down. Oh, I've got more polys in there than I had expected. That's very interesting. Okay, well, this is going to give me a problem. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to redo that over again. I'm going to delete this. I'm going in the right direction, but something happened. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, I'm going to get rid of it. So I'm going to just pull this back a little bit. And let's keep this simple. Start with a box. Okay. And let's start with the simple box. Let's pull this on out. I'm going to bring it up to the base of the skull. All right, so I'm going to commit those changes. Now, I'm going to do the basic head. Go ahead and grab this on down. Keep it simple, just like that. Go over here, Command H or Shift H, which is our scale tool. Bring this on over. Okay. Go to my H tool. Stretch that out a little bit, or better yet, let's kind of bring this down like so. Okay. Let's go to the back. Grab those. Hit the T key for translate. Keep it at the back of the head. Okay, back of the skull. And I think also what I will do is stretch that down as well. I'll bring that up like so. Okay. Let's deselect everything. Hit the H key. Stretch it all down. That works. Now I can always come in here and cut this up to create that X that I was talking about before. I'm just going to do it later. I'm just going to get the basic outline of this thing going. Oops. There we go. I'm going to select it. Now from here, I suppose what I can do is I can do a bevel. Go ahead and do a bevel. Pull it on out. Okay. Hit the T key for translate. Okay, so that neck. So what we essentially going to be doing is if I hit that tab key, we're getting this rounded shapes. Right? So I want to keep it simple, clean and simple. All right, we're going to keep these round shapes. So the neck is it's coming down, but it's going to come up again. So I'm going to go ahead and keep beveling from this polygon here. So hit the B key for bevel, pull it on out. I'm going to hit the H key for stretch, pull that down. So you're getting a little bit of a thicker neck here. So I want to keep something in mind in that as it goes back, the head is getting a little bit wider. So I'm going to go grab all this here. Hit the H, Shift H for the stretch tool, right? And pull this on out a little bit more. There we go. And I'm going to hit the T key just to push it back into place. Like so. Okay, that works. I'm going to come back to the neck. Do the same thing. Shift H. I'm just kind of like modifying this a little bit. There we go. Okay. It's getting close. Let's go over here to the side view. All right, I'm a little bit off, so that's okay. So we can go ahead and modify this. Go get the bottom. T, pull it on up. Let's go get the edge tool. T, bring it on back somewhere right about there. H for shift. I think I'm going to do it for both of these here, actually. That one can actually come down a little bit more too, and upwards. So up to there. Bring this back down to here. Okay, we're going to add more geometry in here to pull that up. So I'm not, again, there's no detail. We don't want any detail right now. So select this here. T key. Let's pull it on back. Let's go to here. The head's coming down a little bit. I think that works. I think I'll just bring this one down just slightly. So I think I'll just go ahead and go to the T key and just translate it on down. That looks good. Let's go to the top. Let's go look at all views. Okay. Yep, that'll work. Remember, we don't want any detail now. Come over to here, hit that B key for bevel, and we're going to bevel this on out. So it's going a little bit larger, neck's getting a little bit thicker. That's good. Looking at this from the top view, it's going to start coming up to connect with that shoulder blade. So we're going to need a whole section in here just for the arms, but for now we're keeping it simple. So if you're not quite sure where this is going, I'm going to hit the tab key. See? Hit the tab key again to bring back the box. I'm going to save it with an S key. Hit the S key on the keyboard. All right, where do you think we should go now? The body's got to get wider, right? Really wide, really fast. So I'm thinking of, let's go ahead and just bevel this out again. All right, and hit the B key. I selected that polygon. We're going to bring it out, up and out, like so. So I think we're going to take it to here. It's kind of like, there we go, something like that. Okay, this is not going to be accurate to the completely accurate to the front. This is not the same image that we're using. So I'm going to bring it up to here. That's the bottom. Looking at this chest, how it's coming down in this fashion. So hit the H key, pull it up to there. Let's show that full view so you can see what's going on. H key, pull it up to there. See what's happening? Now the reason I'm keeping this here, a slice right in the middle of the arm, as opposed to just bringing a big square so we can extrude the arm out of it, because I want that little cross type of a technique in there that I can extrude from, which I'm going to do for the forehead too, for the rest of the body. But I'm going to be patient and keep this real simple for the time being. Let's see, let's go ahead and hit the B key again, and let's stretch this out again. And we're going to take it to right about there. Hit the H key. See, I'm going to kind of keep it going with the body there. Let's take a look at it from the top view. All right, so just to kind of keep this, keep ourselves honest here, hit the tab key. Okay. All right, let's go keep going. Let's go to the back. Hit the bevel again. And I'm going to outline this guy. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. All right. So if you look at the model on the front side here, I'm getting really big here. It's getting real fat, so I have to be careful of this. In fact, let's shift, drag it to the right. It's going to select all of that. Okay. I want to keep this down, so I'm going to stretch it into here. Probably like so. Okay, I'm looking underneath his body here. And I'm thinking probably pull this up, because I can always pull that geometry downwards. I want to be careful here. That's not too much downwards. There we go. Okay. So from here, it looks like I want to do just one more extrusion, but I want that next extrusion, pull it down like this. I want it to come out to match the size of the body, the full size of the body. Okay. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I accidentally deleted something there. There we go. Got it back. All right, let's go to the bevel, pull this on out. That's going to match the rest of the body. H key, it's kind of keep this honest here and here. All right, so pretty simple. Always go back and forth between this view and the other. Just by hitting the tab key in light wave. Let's go ahead and grab that. Let's go ahead and start creating. So I'm going to flatten this out, and we can see from the top view what's happening. H key. So a lot of what you're going to be doing when you're modeling is pretty much stretch. It's extrude and stretch, and extrude and stretch. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and hit the B key again. Bring it out like so. You see we're starting to get a little bit shorter going toward the back. Hit the H key, bring that up. All right, so we're getting into the tail region, right? Now, you're probably thinking, we go back over to here to this subdivision mode. You're probably thinking, well, that's a lot, it looks like it's a lot smaller. Well, it's not really a lot smaller. It's just slightly, inside the body of the dinosaur. Remember, when we start adding more geometry, it's going to start to come out a little bit more. So we're going to have a lot of room to play with here. So let's go back to the tab key. So if it looks great in a very simplified view, it's going to look fantastic in subdivision view. Let's go ahead and grab this. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and bevel that out. B key, H key, so I'm keeping everything fairly linear in here. We're going to start creating the tail. And my instinct says to bring this back a little bit more. H key, bring it right about there. That's going to give me some flexibility, particularly when we want to start adding bones to this and to whip the tail around. Shift bracket key to the right, pull that down, make that a little bit more accurate. Okay. Let's see that view. Right. So I'm keeping my eye on all views at this point. Shift bracket key to the left. That will select this once again. Hit the B key, pull it out. There we go. I'll pull that back here. Go to H key, pull it back a little bit, stretch this down. So wherever that cursor sits is where it's going to translate from. All right. Let's see any questions. None. Okay, cool. So everybody's just kind of watching and enjoying. That's great. All right. I'm going to subdivide give it quite a bit for the tail here. If you look at the top, it's looking pretty good. Everything's matching according to my visuals here. So let's go ahead and keep working. Hit the B key, pull it out. Let's go over here and look at this view here. There we go. Pull it on over. That's better. H key for stretch. Maybe what we'll do is we'll pull it back about there, make it a lot more accurate. That looks good. Okay. Take a look at the top view. All right, so the top view is going to be tricky because we don't have a reference for this. So I don't want this to taper in so much. So what I'm going to have to do is shift bracket to the right just to select these areas up here. Go to my stretch tool and just pull this more like this. I'm going to have to modify it. Shift bracket to the left, which drops it down another poly. Like this. Shift bracket to the left again, so that's the last one. And like that. So I don't want that tail to taper off so quickly. See, it's really simple. Okay. I may be adding too much geometry here for the tail, but I don't care. I think this is going to work just fine. B key, stretch it out. Seeing it's the B, the bevel that's given at that extreme bevel, but that's okay. Hit the H key. Pull this on down. Okay. And then just pull this on out. Pull that on out. I don't want it to be. I'm going to shift bracket to the right a little bit more. Okay. Come over to here. There we go. I'm just eyeing it at this point. This is not going to be perfect, as I'm already seeing. So what I'm going to end up doing is cutting this in half anyway, so I can mirror this. So I'm not going to be too much of a stickler about it. The tail not being symmetrical on both sides, which it isn't. So I tell you what, why don't we use another technique? Hit the E key for extend. Pull this on out. That might make life a lot easier on me here, and I can control just how much that's going to be extended down. So let's come over here to the side. Okay, pull that on down and pull that on down. Yeah. Okay, come back over to here. Okay, just a little. I'm going to kind of center that a little bit. You can see it's a little bit off, but I'm not going to worry about that at this point. In fact, I think what I'll do is I need more space on the other side. Let's go ahead and grab this. Stretch command, just pull that out a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, I'm just eyeing this here. I may have to go over here to the and just modify this here a little bit. Let's just pull this. So both of these may need to be modified. So grab this as well. Yeah, I think that'll work. Let's grab this one here. I'm just going to try to do as much as I can in the top view. And deselect that one and select this one here. So this whole thing is not centered exactly, but let's see if I can get this centered right about there and just go modify these others real fast. Grab it, grab that one there. H key. There we go. Let's just kind of pull that on out. H key. Yep, that's working better. Now, if I select any one of these here, using the up and down arrow keys will actually shift. So I don't have to actually go select it. So I'm going to go to this one here, H key, pull it out a little bit more, hit the down arrow, pull that out a little bit more. Okay. So it's not going to be perfect. I know I made a mistake in not having this completely symmetrical, but I can mirror it in just a bit. I'm going to do that when I finish the tail. All right, so let's see. No questions. Great. I can keep going. I'm going to assume everybody's just watching and learning and enjoying. Let's go ahead and go to our tab key. See, there we go. Yeah, it's moving in the right direction. When we slice it down the middle, we'll be able to bring the back end up a little bit more. That's cool. All right, tell you what, in 2 minutes, we'll take a 15-minute break. I just realized we went over our break time. Okay. All right, go back to tab key, go back to our polygonal modeling mode here. Let's go select this front area here. Hit the E key for extend, T key to move it. Bring it right down in here. Hit the H key. All right, come back over to here. Give it a slight little taper. Okay. Yep, I'm liking it so far. E key for extend and T key for translate. H, stretch. And I'm going to do the same thing here, kind of get in the center, stretch it. Okay. Give it a slight taper. Okay. E key for extend, T key to pull that out. So I want this tail to be fairly flexible when I put bones into it. So I'm going to kind of get enough geometry in here. Of course, we can always do that later as well. Let's bring it down to taper this mode. Do the same thing up here. Still in the stretch tool. Just bring it like so. Okay. Take a look at that. Looking good. Okay. E key, T for translate, H for stretch. Same thing here. Okay. Looking good. E key, T. I know it's starting to sound like a robot now, right? H. That's pretty much what you're doing. You're using only a few tools in here to do to accomplish what you need to accomplish. E key. There we go. H stretch. Do the same thing here. Okay. E key, T. H for stretch. Pull that in a little bit more, and we'll do one more, okay? So E, hit T for translate, H for stretch, and we're going to go to there. Okay? That's about it for the tail. Okay, we're taking a look at that. I think that's going to work just fine. I'm going to go over here to the tab key, hit it. Okay. So we're working in a combination of subdivision surfaces because we're dealing with procedurals or algorithms, which is turning those very linear sides into a curved object. And there's something else I want to check out here as well. Let's go ahead and go to the top view here. A key. Pull this in a little more. Okay, so look at the edges here, how it's actually curving this. If I go to the O command, I have curved divisions or subdivision patches, so to speak. This is relating to our subdivision surfaces. So subpatch divisions, and you also have Catmull-Clark. I'm going to use the standard subpatch divisions. So Catmull-Clark is a lot more sophisticated and a lot more accurate, But I don't think we're necessarily going to need it for the Stegosaurus just yet. And if you're using Catmull Clark, you also have to have the Catmull Clark button turned on right down here. So far, I have the sub patch highlighted orange. That's the one that I'm currently working with. So if you look at these sides here, you can see the linear iterations in here. You know exactly where, how it's subdividing this up, utilizing this algorithm of three subdivisions. So for every polygon is breaking it up into 3 areas, right? So if you look at this, let's go back to tab. See, it's a straight line here. Let's go bring this straight on. And then when we go to the tab key, 1, 2, 3, right? It's split that up into 3 areas. 1, 2, 3. For every one polygon, it's splitting it up or curving it up into 3 divisions. I can tell it to do more. So I'm going to go to subpatch divisions, give it 6. Let's see what it looks like. See? Now it gives it a much more of a smoother look because we're telling it for every polygon, which I have here. Oops. Bring this around. For every polygon, we want you to split it up into 6. So tab. See? Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I can, I'm just trying to guess where they're 3 here and 3 there. It's 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 right here. Okay. So just be aware that's what that's happening in the general options for O. We're going to set that to more. Undo levels, I'm going to go to 100. Okay. Auto save is 5 minutes to set. I guess that's okay. If you have problems with things crashing in Lightwave, then turn that off. You can say never, and then you just make sure that you do it, manually. Just don't forget. I do it automatically, so I'm hitting the S key. Okay, let's bring this on back around. Okay, so there is our basic dinosaur. So let's do this. Let's do a 15-minute break here because I went past that time. We'll probably go a little bit longer tonight as well. So let's come over here and so let's see. So Ruskler says symmetry. Exactly. Well, symmetry was not turned on, but it's not going to matter so much because I'm going to split this thing in half and then just mirror it so that each side is going to be symmetrical when we come back. But let's go over here. Let's go to this little guy here. There we go. Okay, let's bring that on up. So we're going to do our 15-minute break. 15-minute timer. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's grab that one there. I'm going to leave that page. There she goes. All right, 15 minutes, guys. So we'll come right back. I'm going to temporarily turn off the sound so you don't have to hear all the noise in the background. And then I will come back and we'll get rocking and rolling again. Okay? All right, we'll see you in about 15 minutes. Okay, everybody should be able to hear me loud and clear. Okay, we are back again. Let me make one little adjustment.